sir.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, 3 years in, we're learning.
Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Any idea why I picked that today? I'm going to wander through the other room and keep singing, so you sing along with me. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet, come on in, while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Whoop, sorry. Whoop. Yeah, Len, go for it. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Let's do Hold My Hand. Hold my hand while I run this race. That could be a challenge, though. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Search my heart, search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Let's do that last line again. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Well, look at you. You're small but mighty. Well done. So I know I know we're not running. I mean, I'm assuming none of you finished already and you showered and came to church. But I do feel a little bit like all of us ran a race to get here, right? So you have to kind of breathe. There are certain parts of town that just get encircled, and you have to work it to get here. So well done. I picked a song for today that is kind of wordy, but I thought we might have a few extra minutes while we were waiting for people to come in. So I thought maybe we could do it and not be too stressed out, maybe. So the thing is about these songs, I could have made a slide. I could have handed you sheet music, but you experience the music a different way when you just hear it and you have to really listen to the lyrics. And so instead of just reading something off a screen, I wanted to go ahead and just introduce it to you. So I'll sing the whole thing, and then I'll have you do a little echo with me. So, plant the seed of yourself wherever you may go, and may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And where there is need, plant a seed. Right? So we can do this. I'll do one, you do one. Plant the seeds of yourself wherever you may go. Plant the seeds of yourself wherever you may go. And may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And where there is need, plant a seed. And where there is need, plant a seed. Let's do an echo one more time. Plant the seeds of yourself wherever you may go. Plant the seeds of yourself wherever you may go. And may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And where there is need, plant a seed. And where there is need, plant a seed. Let's see if we can do it all together. Plant the seeds of yourself wherever you may go. And may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And where there is need, plant a seed. One more time. Plant the seeds of yourself wherever you may go. And may the wind and water make you stronger as you grow. And may the earth bring flowers from the seeds that you sow. And where there is need, plant a seed. Let's do that last line. And where there is need, plant a seed. Well done. We'll do that again on Flower Communion. And they'll be like, oh, I know that one. That's great.
Wow, that's a perfect song. That's what I thought. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. My name is Christine Davis. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a worship associate of this church. Over the last few years, the way we have met has often changed, but whether in person or on Zoom or on a YouTube live stream, or some way of being that we cannot yet imagine, worshiping together is a chance to deepen our connection with the sources of meaning in our lives and to proclaim who we are and what we are about, throwing open the doors of our congregation and proclaiming the radical love and welcome that is at the heart of our faith. At this time, Jason Slaughter from the Board of Trustees would like to offer his own welcome and give us a few announcements.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Jason Slaughter. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. I currently serve as the treasurer of this church. I want to offer a special welcome to those who are visiting for the first time. I'm going to have a few announcements to share as our church community extends beyond Sunday morning worship. The online auction ends today at noon. Hopefully you made your bids, but you still have time to bid, even after we get done here after the service. So pickup time, though, if you won something, is between 1 and 5 p.m. today. So right after the service, don't forget to check out, though, those tasty treats. I don't know about you, but I already gained a couple more pounds just by looking at them. So make sure you bid on those. They're really, really good. There's a couple plates of chocolate chip cookies that I baked this morning, so they could be a deal. So, but no, there's great stuff out there. So I hope you all get to take some home with you today. Now, next Sunday after service, we will hold the next Pride planning meeting. Join us in the gathering space, and as we plan our booths and walking in the Pride Parade in early June. We all hope you can be a part of that process. Now, on June 8th, can you believe June is just right around the corner? We're going to hold our spring congregational meeting. Members will vote for our board candidates, share the plate recipients for next year, which Erica Berkey has over there. She's going to be at the table for you to sign for those share the plate nominations. So make sure you see her today as well if you haven't done that. And of course, we're going to vote on our ministerial search committee. 2 town halls, though, will be held leading up to the spring meeting, so stay tuned for more information and save those dates on your calendar, all right? Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Stephanie, come on up. She has a little announcement for us today.
Thank you, Jason. I'm Stephanie Herrick, she, her, the membership coordinator, and I just wanted to invite any newcomers after the service, the big tree by the library, to chat with myself, Karen, and Pam for a newcomers chat. Thank you.
The Unitarian Church of Lincoln aspires to be a loving community, uniting reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and our world. We have a big vision here, and we know that creating a loving community begins with welcome. So whether this is your first time here or your 500th, if you came here hopeful or heartbroken, whatever your age, gender, skin color, whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we enter into worship, take a moment to center yourself in this place. Find a comfortable place with your body. Take a few deep breaths. Now let us continue into worship with our chalice lighting.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Disney. I'm a worship associate of this church, and my pronouns are she, her. Our chalice lighting words this morning are by the Reverend David Breeden. Here to transform. Welcome to this place where certainty transforms to questions. This place that takes what is and imagines what can be. Welcome to this space where what was fixed begins to shift, where rigidity embraces unfolding as we join in the dance of transformation. Welcome to this moment of change, where together we transfigure and transcend together. Please join in body or spirit and rise as you will for hymn number 1020, Woyaya.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Any kids who would like to come up and join me on the rug up here? I have a little story to read. Good morning. called Say Something by Peter H. Reynolds. The world needs your voice. Mine? Yes, yours. Go ahead. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as it's from your heart. You don't have to be loud. Powerful words can be a whisper. You can say something in so many ways, with words, with action, with creativity. If you see someone lonely, say something just by being there for them. If you see an empty canvas, say something with your brush. If you see an empty lot, say something by planting a seed and watching it bloom. If you see someone being hurt, say something by being brave. Hey, stop. If you see something beautiful, say something with a poem. Painted meadows splashed with rainbows. If you have a brilliant idea, say something with confidence. Eureka! If you want to show the world who you are, say something with style. Ta-da! If you are angry, say something to help people understand. You made me feel invisible. That really hurt. I'm really sorry. If you see an injustice, say something peacefully. Inspire others to do the same. And his sign says, no more hurting people, peace. Sometimes you'll say something and no one will be listening, but keep saying what is in your heart and you will find someone who listens. Keep saying it and you may be surprised to find the whole world listening. If you are grateful for being alive, quietly say something to the stars, to the universe. Some people find it easier to say something than others, but everyone has something to say. So when you're ready, say something. Your voice can inspire, heal, and transform. Your voice can change the world. Are you ready to say something? Okay, you guys can follow me back.
A central part of our service is the time that we join together as a community to mark the moments of our lives. We share with one another our joys, our sorrows, the events that mark the steps on our journey. The threads of sorrow and those of joy are intertwined in the fabric of our lives, present for all, remembered by all. We share those threads, and then they are woven together with those of others in our community. Our joys are shared and magnified. We are comforted in our sorrows. Excuse me. Spring. I invite you to type into the chat or to speak into this shared space your name or the name of another you wish to be remembered in sorrow.
Timothy,
Timothy, Mark,
Jala,
Jala,
Kayla,
Kayla, nothing in the live chat yet. I invite you to type into the chat or to speak into the shared space your name of another you would like to be remembered in joy.
Kurt and Kathy.
Kurt and Kathy. I think it's for the shade structure out there.
Yes.
Mom,
John and Linda.
John and Linda,
Maya.
Maya,
My CT scans were clear.
Marcia's CT scans were clear.
Anya and Karina.
Anya and Karina. We have in the live chat, not knowing whether they are joys or sorrows, Melanie Ryan Miller, NPR and PBS. My granddaughters, and Carol, who said my granddaughter says, in sorrow, not joy. We know too that there are some joys and some sorrows which are deeply felt but cannot be spoken. Let us hold a moment of silence for everything that is unspoken.
Please join me in a time of prayer or meditation. Soul lifts, by Reverend Tess Baumberger. Wouldn't it be great if we walked around surrounded by our souls, so that they were the first things people saw instead of the last things? Then people would judge us by who we really are instead of how we look. Imagine no more racism, ageism, sexism, faddism, shortism, homophobia. Imagine falling in love with who a person is just by looking at them. It would be a kind of cloaking device, hiding physical faults, defects, or even perfections. I want it to be mandatory. Then people would work at making their souls more attractive instead of their bodies and faces. Imagine soul gyms with exercises to get your sagging soul in shape. Imagine the long lines forming for soul lifts at churches, temples, mosques, synagogues, or nature's grand cathedrals. Imagine people knowing by your soul that you really need a hug. Imagine people helping each other and their souls changing colors or growing. Imagine.
Our readings today begin with the words of John O'Donohue. To live a truly creative life, we always need to cast a critical eye, a critical look at where we presently are, attempting always to discern where we have become stagnant and where a new beginning might be ripening. There can be no growth if we do not remain open and vulnerable to what is new and different. I have never seen anyone take a risk for growth that was not rewarded 1,000 times over. And now the words of Adrienne Marie Brown. If the goal was to increase love rather than winning or dominating, I think we would actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea, but everywhere there is complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential. We would want to listen, support, collaborate, merge, and grow through fusion, not competition. Each week we take up a collection to support the work of this church and our partners in the community. We do this because just as we all grow through our participation in this community, we all give back through our time, our talent, our treasure, and our baked goods. As the next song plays, the ushers will pass our offering plates. You can also give by texting UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. That's UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. The offering will now be gratefully received.
That was beautiful. Thank you. If you will indulge me for just a moment, I want to say hello to my mom in Austin, Texas. When I was 23 years old, I was laid off from my very first real job right here in Lincoln. It was all carefully planned by my employer, as such things must be. My young workmates and I had just finished a brutal push week, working an extraordinary number of hours. We'd completed the programming for a whole line of agricultural software and made final edits to the accompanying manuals, all to be marketed for the soon-to-be-released Macintosh computer. We were high, as only a group of 20-somethings can be at such a milestone in their early tech careers. In fact, when we arrived that Friday morning, we knew we'd have more than usual to celebrate at our Friday night gathering at the home of our manager. Of course, we looked forward to celebrating the way we did every week. We'd share snacks, drinks, and dive into whatever board games people had brought. But it was also not like every week because we were so proud of one another. We had met all the marks and done it with a pretty giant serving of grace and good humor. Our futures, very literally, seemed bright enough to require sunglasses. We did not see it coming. We so did not see it coming. Mid-afternoon, our manager stopped cubicle by cubicle at our desks and invited us to the conference room. She seemed subdued, but she was always a little stiff. The only thing I could imagine was a surprise party with bonus checks, topped by embarrassing praise from the top brass. We'd earned it. The big boss, who really was big, being a former linebacker, greeted us in the conference room. I liked Mike. When he closed the door, I looked around the room and realized that only 8 of the 11 of us were there. I heard snatches of what he said next, and when excused, went to my desk to gather my personal effects. I did not make eye contact with anyone. Not the crew of writers I'd worked beside, not the programmers I carefully questioned about every detail of each of the applications the company would soon market. A guy from security in the main building across the street was stationed at our door to make sure we surrendered our keys, to make sure we actually left, and didn't take things with us that weren't ours, like our dignity. That thought came to me later. It is easy to feel imaginative when things keep going in the direction we expect, in the direction we are certain will lead to our continued flourishing. That is easy. What is not easy is to feel imaginative at times when nothing is going in the direction we expect, and we are certain we are on a path that may destroy us. I carried the bruises of that layoff deeply. How could I lay them down? My fiancé was among the 3 from our team who were retained. The constant reminder and shame of being laid off by a company he continued to serve, standing in line week after week at the unemployment office, presenting my list of the many places that hadn't called me back, was a strange field in which to plant seeds of any kind, let alone abundance. I had a biology degree and 2 years of experience as a technical writer. Research of the local market made clear that science writing jobs, even technical writing jobs, were not plentiful. What could I offer if the thing I did best wasn't what was valued? I was like children's author Leo Leone's Frederick, a little mouse who suffered the shame of being a creative among industrious mice who braced for the barren winter by gathering food. Frederick gathered stories and images. And when the food ran low, as it often does, Frederick elevated every one of those hungry and despairing mice with the stories and images he had carefully collected. You can't eat stories. I get it. But when I consider the people in our community who have the most reason to despair, and I hear them sing and laugh and forgive, when I see them dance and make art and reach generously toward one another, when I read their imaginative writings and their prophetic words, I know that imagination is as important as food, a livable planet, justice. Indeed, imagination is essential if we are to survive and thrive no matter what is unfolding around us. Our opening hymn, Woyaya, speaks to the inevitability of prevailing. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. If our brothers and sisters from the African continent can sing this, if we dare to sing it in this sanctuary, then let us believe it. Let us plant the seeds of it right here, right now. In recent years, a persistent invitation calls me to do this, to plant seeds of the harvest I want to help bring about. In the fall of 2020, during the many weeks of beloved conversations within, an anti-racism program that over 50 of us from the UCL community completed, the program leaders raised the importance of imagination and how impossible it is to move towards something that we haven't imagined. We were in the middle of a global pandemic. The Black Lives Matter movement was surging, a perfect time to sow seeds of an abundant, anti-racist future. This past September 28th, 23 of us were joined by others from Justice in Action, Nebraska Interfaith Power and Light, and members of the Climate Action team at First Plymouth for a climate justice revival here in our gallery. Time spent imagining the future we want was a key part of the charge, and we met it, both through writing and even trying to draw what that future might look like. Our collaboration brought with it powerful feelings of joy and hope. On March 5th of this year, I attended a 4-hour workshop as part of the Do More Good Movement Conference, which promised to help attendees co-create a future in which for-profit businesses do more good. I was the only person in the room that worked for a nonprofit, but I felt tremendous kinship in that imaginative space. The ideas people came up with made me realize that people in professions very different from my own long for an uplifting future that feeds their humanity. On April 13th, my daughter, Allison Starr, who serves on our board here at church, invited our family to sit down and speak aloud what we wanted the world to be like. She needed to be reminded that today is not permanent, that there is reason to hope. We called our list, What's Ahead for Us? So far, there are 40 things on our list. When we stall, we look at the list and ask ourselves if there's anything we can do right then that would help bring any of those closer to reality. I have found that there is. Yesterday, it was this sermon, which I wrote while participating in a write-a-thon at Lark Song Writing Center in town. With vision and courage and energy, we can continue planting for a later, abundant harvest. We must continue planting. This is not me saying that all is well, we just change our way of thinking, of imagining. I'm not talking about denial. I'm talking about the myriad ways that we can respond to this mess of discouragements, ways that can nourish us and those around us for the long winter ahead. The world needs your voice, said Peter Reynolds in our story. Sometimes you'll say something and no one will be listening, but keep saying what is in your heart and you will find someone who listens. Keep saying it, and you may be surprised to find the whole world is listening. On April 15th, just 2 days after Allison's invitation to imagine the world we want to inhabit as a family, I joined a Zoom call with alums from Vermont College of Fine Arts, where I earned my master's degree in writing. The purpose? To consider the artist's role in disruptive times. One of the outrageous moments during the call was when a presenter invited us all to imagine that we were talking on the phone to someone we really enjoyed talking with. We held our imaginary cell phones to our ears, and don't all of us still do this to show a phone? Anyway. Now, she instructed us, for the next 20 seconds, laugh at the hilarious story they just shared with you. And she began laughing. I mean, really laughing. And it was infectious. We were all laughing in our homes, scattered across the country. It felt, well, I have to tell you, it felt great. We had all come to the call with a heaviness we'd reported in the chat. Under her instruction, we allowed ourselves to imagine a great lightness into being. And those of you who are worried that I'm going to have you do this, I'm not. On May 1st, we saw evidence of the fruits of imagination at the Justice in Action Nehemiah Assembly. Together with 26 other faith communities, we participated in bringing collective imagination into reality in ways that will make vulnerable people's lives better. The seeds for this were planted 3 years ago. The crops are beginning to come in. We will keep planting. I did find another job after that layoff. I used the truly shallow knowledge I'd gained of agriculture to land an interview with the Institute for Agricultural and Natural Resources at UNL. My relationship with the dean began badly when he and the associate dean disagreed on my hiring, a fact which my boss, the associate dean, unfortunately shared with me. I watched for evidence of the dean's disapproval. I experienced him as unsupportive. As we worked in adjacent spaces, and I saw him many times each day, the growing evidence I was generating affected my health, my state of mind, my performance on the job. I met with a newly hired faculty member who officed next to me. he'd been brought in to help ease organizational transitions. I told him of my dilemma and how it was impacting me. I have never forgotten his response. If you're going to imagine what he thinks of you, why not imagine something good? I remember thinking, that's it? That's what you got for me? That faculty member was Dan Wheeler, a longtime member of this church. His words were blunt and simple. Could they possibly make a difference? They did. I never had the power to change the dean, whatever he may have thought of me. But Dan's words changed the way I showed up. I began to impact the way he saw me and responded to me by carrying an image of what I wanted our relationship to be. In the end, I was invited to deliver a poem at his retirement. Not just any poem. It was playful and a little racy, honestly. He laughed and laughed, and I felt a sort of affection for him, this man over whom I had struggled. I would never have gotten to that place or that poem without my imagination. I'm grateful that Dan shared those words with me. I'm grateful that I trusted them. I have called upon them many times over the decades, always when the stakes are very high and when my fears threatened to overtake me. If I am going to imagine things, I might as well imagine good things. I offer this to you now in the hope that it will manifest in unexpected ways, as it has for me. It is easy to feel loving toward people with whom we agree, or by whom we feel validated. How do we imagine going forward centered in love, given everything that now surrounds us? It might not feel natural. It surely won't be easy. But maybe it isn't supposed to be easy. Nothing worth doing ever is. Please join as you are able in singing Love Will Guide Us.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, leading the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard times. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, leading the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard
Our closing words are from a sermon delivered by the current UUA president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, under the title A Love That Frees. There is a love that sets us free, period. Not free as in having the power to do whatever we want, but free as in not weighed down or bound by the patterns of hatred and control that get passed from generation to generation. Free as in restless. Called to solidarity wherever we witness injustice. Free as in knowing without a doubt that we are worthy and that it is ours to invite others into the same wisdom for themselves. Free to imagine a world where children are never in harm's way, where the violence and desperation of generations serves as a site of sacred repair. Free to express our highest values and what we believe in as many poetic forms as there are people in this room. Free enough to build communities that love us so deeply that we are held when we falter and invited back into sacred covenant when we fail. Amen.
Fill the freezer.